Hello, it's Phil Hawkins, director, and this is a commentary of shooting the Not on the High Street Christmas idents that were on Channel 4 and lots of other channels. So effectively the challenge, this is all kind of what's called a flat lay style, so the camera's looking down onto a flat surface with props and objects and the product kind of laid out. And the lovely idea behind these was a series of different hands writing notes, writing personal messages on cards, as you can see there. And that's kind of forms our story, that's what tells our story. That's actually the finished shot for one of them. They vary between 5 and 10 and 15 seconds, so quite short, but obviously a lot of thought has to go into them. This is a look at the treatment. I really wanted the lighting to look like we're in different places and different times of day, because the challenge being was we had probably 10 or 11 scripts to shoot in a day. So basically what we had to do is we had these surfaces that we dress in the room next door, and as we were shooting the next one would be being dressed. This is a look at the shooting schedule, so you can see, I think we had like 30 minutes or less of shooting time. And this is my kind of directing brain. I have like grids that show the boards and the notes, and there's the sort of different surfaces that we're bringing in, so we're all being kind of very organised with what was going on, and we had to be because of the time pressure on this day. It all went actually without a hitch, and I think we finished on ahead of time. So it's one of those things where you look on paper. Hello, Edmore. You look on paper, it looks like a busy day, but actually, because we thought about it all logistically before we went in, it was all about the prep. We had a very smooth shooting day, and effectively kept the camera exactly in the same place all day. That's Ed and his Ronin gimbal and remote head pointing down, and then we brought the surfaces to the camera and then tweaked the lighting to make it look like different spaces. I think you saw before with Ed showing off the kind of the lighting panels that could do different colours and things. We didn't go that extreme, but just thought it was cool to show you what you can do these days from an iPad. So from my perspective, it's a lot of fiddling actually. As you can see there, it's sort of having the monitor up and having a look at the frame, and then even though it's dressed next door, they don't have a camera there. So you bring it to camera and then you have to kind of tweak it, or basically I have to mess with it, just to make sure it's working for camera. And obviously the challenge being that the kind of featured product, so for example here, the featured product is the wallet. We had to be very careful about framing for the wallet, and then finding an appropriate size card, and then appropriate sized handwriting, and then dressing around it. So there's no point having, if you imagine having a really small product and then a massive card, because the product would have been kind of overwhelmed on screen. This is next door. This is the lovely Di, my stylist, and her team, and this is one of the setups. She's dressing ready to go next door for us to film, and this is just a sample of some of the stuff that it takes to put these together that in the end will feel like effortless nice little moments, but actually take a lot of prep and a lot of planning. You can see all the products and props on there. I mean, and they're all kind of available on NotOnTheHighStreet.com, so anyone watching the ads, knows that they can go and buy anything that they like in the advert. So we had to obviously be careful about thickness of pens as well, because we wanted to read the message. Some of it had to be enhanced slightly in post, just with some grading techniques. So that's another finished shot, and with a pull focus with the bracelet coming towards camera. That was a challenge because this is usually what I do, lying around on set the whole time.
I like to be the floor.
I can't hear what I'm saying there because I'm doing this mute, but probably something embarrassing. So yeah, so some of the, like that bracelet obviously was very delicate and had an inscription. So for that I had to get the hand models to bring it up towards camera as if they're inspecting it, as if the camera is kind of their point of view. So we had lots and lots of setups. One involving a very small boy writing, which he was great, but it was a very interesting challenge to get that because you only have a few takes, before they get bored. So we had to just make sure we nailed that. Unfortunately, I was too busy working with the child in order to do any behind the scenes. But you'll see the ident later. So this is the last setup, which was a Christmas tree, which is very appropriate. So you know it's December. Merry Christmas, everybody. This is, you'd think I planned it. I think we shot this in, I don't know when it was. It was summer? No, it wasn't quite the summer, but it wasn't Christmas, basically. So we all got in the festive spirit doing this one. So again, yeah, I would come in, tweak the dressing, there's Di, making sure I'm not ruining it. You obviously see there I've only dressed one tiny part of the tree because that's all we're seeing on camera. And this is our lovely hand model, and this is me explaining what I'd like her to do based on the screen. And because it's usually don't sort of let the actors look at the monitor, but because of these are very precise about where you put things, where you hold things. Obviously the card needs to be brought up in the right way. I'm just illustrating there. You almost need like a muscle memory. You need to do it, as the actor needs to do it over and over and over again in order to kind of lift that in the perfect place. Again, when you see it, it feels really effortless, but it takes a few takes to nail that, and obviously with the focus as well. So maybe I'll be quiet here, you can hear me doing a bit of directing.
There we go. Okay, rehearsing and action. Very nice.
Or not, maybe you think I've talked over it. So yeah, and she was great at, see there, it's kind of adjusting. Oh, can you just place it there in mid-air, try and find a frame of reference on the tree. But if you could nail that every single take, like some sort of robot, then that would be great. And actually, she did, she was brilliant. I actually thought I should have shot the rehearsal.
Get that into your muscle memory.
So, yeah, there you go. Almost. It was pretty good in there. And actually, what was interesting about the casting of this wasn't just about hand models. It's obviously we saw them.
10 years of drama school for this, by the way.
There you go. Saw them writing as well. So the casting had to be about hands, but also had to be about what their handwriting looked like. It had to be legible. There's Giles Alderson. He was came in as my first on this to help me out because there was a lot to do on the day. So yeah, so we had to cast their handwriting as well, and that's the finished act. So you see it's dropped there, stroke of that, touch of that, close with the lid, and then see how she brings the card up, nails it. So yeah, so we did some stuff with overlays because there are some idents where I wanted to kind of match cut between different products, so you could see the journey between someone handcrafting and making the products, because a lot of these are handmade. So you'd see someone making it, and then they would lift it or touch it, and then you would cut, and that would be in exactly the same place, transported to the home of the person that bought it as they're writing the note, and then that note then ends up in the right place when we cut to the next scene for the person receiving it. So there was a little bit of a journey visually, and I think they work quite well, but they're quite fiddly. You have to kind of do a mix and overlay on the camera and match them absolutely perfectly from you're always having to kind of pick the take you want to use on the day, so it all kind of cuts together. And this is us getting into the Christmas spirit. Here there, but I think he says it's July. And here's just a look at the different setups that we did in the day. Varying degrees, texture, different lighting. There's one with the boy. as we've seen that one. So yeah, so there's lots of different setups and types of surfaces and products to cover. And there we have it. Thanks for listening. I hope this was interesting. If it was, please leave a comment, because I'll do more of them if people liked this. But yes, please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you again on another video. Bye.